that. No hopeless. Speak to that. I lost my man too. Faithless. Speak to that. I need answers now. Speak to that. 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 Hey.
Want some help, hope, or faith? You found the right place. The Speak to That talk show, where there's help for the helpless, hope for the hopeless, and faith for the faithless.
Welcome to Speak to That, where we give hope to the hopeless, help to the helpless,
and faith to the faithless.
All right. So we have our guest today, Mr. Arthur Muhammad. All right. Muhammad.
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure we got the right person.
Right.
Okay, so he's a director and a screenwriter. Somebody say, and a screenwriter. And a screenwriter for Carter High movies. Right. So first we want to ask, how did you get started? What is it that made you decide to want to write about Carter?
Well, I went to Carter.
Okay.
So that was the main thing, of course. And actually, Friday Night Lights, I don't know if you've heard of that movie, but I actually wrote my screenplay before that movie ever came out.
No way.
Yes way.
Wow.
Yeah, so I wrote it then, and we when we saw the movie, it was like, this is not Carter. You know, so when the incidents was going on that, you know, Carter High is about, we've always said somebody need to make a movie about this.
Wow.
And so I wrote the screenplay years ago, and Greg Ellis, who used to play for the Cowboys, you know, heard about the script and wanted to do the movie.
Wow.
So we got it done.
But in 1988,
Carter has in fact been forced to forfeit their final three games.
The Carter Cowboys, they've been disqualified from the playoffs.
one team had to fight just to step on the field.
My staff and I will fight as hard in the courtroom as those boys fight out on the field.
Welcome to Carter High, one of the best high school football teams ever.
So you think this has something to do with the school being predominantly black?
If this school was mostly white, none of this stuff would even be happening.
Nothing worth having is gonna be easy.
I think I'm losing them.
Now you go on out there and you defend your boys.
Football is about making good decisions, and gambling don't build character.
So what we supposed to do if we can't practice?
You stay focused. We waiting on a phone call to see exactly what's going on.
Attention, faculty and students. I've just been informed by the Dallas superintendent that our football team has been reinstated into the playoffs.
Carter High.
How long did it take to? Hey, that's what I'm curious about. Put all that together. I mean,
Well, we shot the movie in like 21 days.
21 days.
Oh my God.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yes way.
Okay.
Yeah, so we shot the movie in 21 days, about 60 days worth of editing.
Man.
And so the whole process, as far as distribution and everything, took about a year.
Wait a minute. So the movie that I watched, Carter High, that took y'all 21 days
To shoot.
to shoot and edit.
About 60. The first rough cut was done in about 30 days because I edited the movie also.
Now that's amazing.
So
I know you don't speak to that for a reason. You don't speak to that for a reason. Man, that's amazing. Wow. But one good thing I like about Carter, I've always liked about Carter, was the fact that practically my whole family went to Carter. The Perrys, Echoes, we all was up in there. You know,
it's funny, after doing the movie and traveling with the movie, I mean, we everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you find people, I mean, St. Louis,
What?
California. Man, I went to Carter. It's like, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, everywhere. So.
Wait a minute now. Do you think they really from Carter or they just saying it? No. You know. What's one thing?
I think that, I'm going to give them that.
Okay.
Even
Do
if
you
you
remember
went to Carter
them?
for a semester, we give you that.
Okay.
So,
What about a day?
You got to be at least 2 days.
2 days.
2 days, you can get it,
Okay. So let me ask you this. Did you get one of them old Leatherman jackets?
Oh, yeah.
No. I thought you would brought it today.
I can't find mine.
Oh, not.
So, yeah. And I don't I don't know who has it, but
Okay.
you know, back then,
Somebody
you know,
took it.
sometimes twins would take a jacket.
Oh,
and wear
there
it,
you
so-
go. That's it. I saw it. I saw it in your closet yesterday. You want to put it everything,
I don't
babe.
know where my jacket is, but we
Wow.
all had our jackets kind of like made up with.
Okay.
If you saw the movie, if you haven't, then please go see it.
Okay.
You kind of see how the jackets
We
were
saw it. Okay.
like.
Let me ask one more thing. What is it that you were trying to pull out of Carter High?
The ultimate thing that I wanted to pour out of Carter is to show some real life mistakes by some young guys who really wasn't bad children, but just made some bad choices. You know, so hopefully this younger generation will be able to see those decisions and maybe to save one or two.
That's good.
If it does that, then the movie itself was a success.
Wow. And that is so true because, you know, when you think about it, I can be the first to say I made a whole lot of mistakes. And when I think back, if I could just go back, I know, and just go back and change those mistakes. But one of the good things that I'm hearing what you're saying is that, you know, knowing that we made mistakes and you are giving people opportunity to go back and change some things or even not make the mistakes that others have made. So that's really good. It's a good tool to use to help, you know, help a lot of people who are coming up and, you know, different things. Because a lot of times just because I'm a star on the football team, basketball team, whatever it may be, then sometimes we feel that we're invisible.
Right.
So,
and the movie kind of shows that when you listen to that whisper that's guiding you into the wrong direction.
Come on
and
now.
if you contemplated on it too long and you let that seed germinate and you keep feeding it, then eventually you'll find yourself making bad choices and you'll look back and wonder, how did I get here?
Wow.
Well, because you didn't fling that thought out as soon as it started.
That's good.
So that's what that's what the movie, you know. And I have to tell you one quick little story is, and it's been several, but one in particular, a young guy wanted one of the actors at a screening to sign his cell phone.
Wow.
You know, autograph it after the movie. He said, I'm not going to do that. Your parents will get mad.
Yeah.
He insisted that he, you know, autograph it. So he did it and asked him, why you want me to do that? And he said, because every time I see my phone, I want to make sure it reminds me to never make a bad decision.
Wow.
So we had several things like that and people like that to actually, you know, basically witness what happened.
Wow.
And you know, so the movie has been a success in that regard.
You know, me even looking at the movie too, it made me kind of think twice. Had to look to the left and the right. You know, I mean, it really did. It made you think really, like, you could really, if you don't think before you react. My dad used to always say, think before you react. And that is so key. You said something else that was so powerful when you said, if you hear that whisper.
Right.
That whisper, that is key.
Right. And the thing about it comes from a friend most of the time.
Wow.
It's not going to be someone you don't get along with. It's not going to be an enemy.
Absolutely.
It's going to be someone that you trust.
Right.
That's going to drop that seed.
So true.
But you got to be able to recognize it.
Wow.
Regardless
That's
of where it comes from.
That's it. Right.
Okay, so now you made the movie, well, you got the script. Now you're finna put it into production. How do you get someone like Vivica Fox to star in your movie?
Well, actually, once we got in this business, once you get one person of some type of caliber, which was Charles Dutton in this case, it's easier to get other people. And so once we got Charles and Vivica knew Charles was involved, and then she read the script, she was like, wow, I got to do this.
Wow.
You know, and then they couldn't believe it. The funny thing with Charles Dutton is, we, you know, was talking to his agent, you know, and his manager, and initially they were slow to respond. I finally got to talk to Charles Dutton personally. And so Charles was like, young brother, why would you want to make a movie like this? You know, showing these young guys getting in trouble, this and that, and in this day and time. And I said, well, it's a true story, and I hope that it can deter some other young guys from getting in trouble. And he said, this really happened? This all this stuff happened? I said, yes, sir.
Wow.
He said, well, let me call you back. And he didn't call me back right then, but he called me back the next day and said, I'm in. He said the reason why, he was researching. He said once he Googled it and he started researching the story, he couldn't believe it.
Wow. What is next for you after doing all of this?
We'll have an awards show that I had a lot to do with. I edited all the packages and shot the packages of the women that's receiving awards.
Oh, wow.
Called Women That Soar.
Women That
Yes.
And
wow.
they're air on CBS, and it's amazing. You hear some amazing stories about these women that, I mean, that's running the world.
Wow.
Really. And I also have a film that we should be shooting called The Little Voice, April 3rd.
Yeah, about that whisper.
2007.
We talked about.
It was a reality show, Flipping in the Hood, about a black real estate investor.
Flipping in the hood.
And so it's showing how, I mean, the whole process of buying property, selling it, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, wow.
And it's entertaining,
Right.
but at the same time, very educational.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
It is. So, how do we get in contact with you?
Well, my website, sweetchariotfilms.com. Chariot, like swing low, sweet chariot.
Okay, can't forget that.
Okay. We'll be taking you places that you've never been before.
Wow.
And then any other way, you can Google Arthur Muhammad or Twitter. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
Just put in Arthur Muhammad and it should come up.
Everything
Oh,
right.
okay.
Okay. So we want to thank you so much, Muhammad.
Thank you.
For coming on here. Speak to that. And we'll just appreciate it. And it's where we give hope to the hopeless, help to the helpless.
And faith to the faithless.
All right.
Now, I'll speak to that.
Hey, helpless. Speak to that. No good things to do. Hopeless. Speak to that. I'm not a smart man too. Faithless. Speak to that. I need answers now. Speak to that. Speak to that. Speak to that. Speak to